Oh, hi there, boys and girls. It's been a couple days since you and I have talked, and I'm thinking today I'm going to do something a little bit different with you guys. Now, when you're at school, when you're at home, moms and dads, teachers, they read you stories, and you probably, if I know you, you probably heard a lot of fun stories. But really, where do you suppose a good story comes from? Do you think a book just kind of falls in the middle of a library or just comes walking in a teacher's hands or your parents' hands? Where did it come from? Where the ideas, where the pictures come from for that story? Well, they come from your imagination. And there are different kinds of stories too. There's fiction. Fiction, they're stories you make up from your imagination. Then there are other stories that are nonfiction. And what does that mean? That means that they're true, that they really happened. And the story that I'm going to tell you now is not a story that I bought in a bookstore. This is actually a story that came from my head, but it really came from Miss Riri. Now, if you know Miss Riri, and if you know me, you know that I love animals and I love dogs. Well, Miss Riri, a while ago when I first met Miss Riri, and she came into my life, something else came into my life along with her. It was a furry, four-legged creature that she named Sparky. It was Miss Riri's dog. And Sparky was a fun dog, a cool dog, very nice dog, and we love Sparky. And Miss Riri really loves Sparky. And I asked Miss Riri, I said, how'd you get Sparky? Where'd Sparky come from? I'm one of those people, I'm curious. I like to know how things happen. I don't see something and just walk past it. I'm like, what is that? Where'd it come from? How does it work? And when I meet people, I a lot of times like to ask them questions. So when Miss Riri and I started dating and we met each other, I wanted to know a lot about her. And she told me her story about Sparky. And the two of us, we spent a lot of time with Sparky. We love Sparky. But then Sparky was pretty old by the time I came in the picture. And eventually Sparky died. And Miss Riri and I were both very, very sad. And I could tell that she was sad and she was upset. Because sometimes we're happy, sometimes we're not so happy. Anyway, I got an idea. Because I like to draw, and because I like to think up stories, I thought that maybe Miss Riri would like it if I wrote her a little something about Sparky and the story that she told me about how she came across Sparky. Now, I like books that rhyme. So believe it or not, it started out as a poem, and then I thought I'd probably make a kind of a fun book as well. And so that's what I did. I got down, I started to draw some pictures, and I made up the story, a rhyming story. And what I'm going to show you today is a book that I called Sparky's Tale. Now, before you take a look at it, I will say one thing before we start. This book, I did some rough sketches. Now, if anyone knows what a rough sketch is, it's not a finished drawing. It's just something that I did to kind of get some ideas out. Now, in the end, these pictures need to be polished up and changed and made nice. But right now, I'm going to show you that first draft. The sketches are rough, so don't come down hard on Mr. Dave Aru. Okay, and let's see what this book is all about. This Sparky's Tale. Come on around, let's take a look. Here we go, friends.
Shgoo.
The name of the book is Sparky's Tale, the true story of my rescue. We hadn't a clue when we woke that morn that we'd have an encounter with fate. And it's true that you wouldn't have known me at all had you been only 1 minute late. You might not believe me, but guardian angels are making strange moves from above. For a gal in a Honda and a scruffy black mutt were destined to soon fall in love. I learned it the hard way that bad things could happen when my roving wet nose went a-strayin'. And life on the streets was real ugly and tough, never knowin' just where I'd be stayin'. When I heard a warm voice, not a honk, not a yell, could I still be in Baltimore? A nice friendly face called out to me, and I watched as you opened your door. It felt really nice to be welcomed aboard. For too long I'd been out on my own, and I wondered if you were the one they had sent to help me to find my new home. You sure made me feel like a really big deal, and I'll never forget that day. Warm friends, nice people, and pats on my head, and I got my first taste of filet. Yet you wouldn't be staying. There were places to go, and it may not have been the right time. So you left for a while and passed me around. Well, if you didn't want me, then fine. I barked really loudly when I saw you again. Did you think that we dogs were on loan? I'll admit I was scared and real insecure, thinking soon I'd be back on my own. It would be no surprise to see doubt in your eyes, so I quickly jumped into your car. And I'm not going to lie, I stunk up your Honda, which made a short drive seem quite far. In a dream we arrived on a tree-lined drive where the birds sang their songs in the sun. There was food in my bowl and cool water to drink and plenty of places to run. And yet, here I was, in this beautiful place, not a small cement yard with a lock. So just how did I go from a desperate dog to the luckiest pooch on the block? To my dear, sweet Rhea, she's my owner. Most owners go for those pedigree puppies from a foo-foo breeder or store. But you hit your brakes for a beaten-down stray when you opened your heart and your door. Just how could it be that you rescue me? Don't most humans want so much more than a scruffy old mutt you named Sparky from the mean streets of Baltimore? You kept my tail wagging all through my days. My heart would beat loudly at the sound of your praise. And I'd follow you into a house set ablaze. And you knew that I loved you. There was truth in my gaze. My coat told my story, half black and half white, half my life spent in darkness and half in the light. With your love and attention you filled up my bowl, my sweet loyal owner with the beautiful soul. And some of you may not think Sparky was real, but I can tell you, here he is, the very real Rhea and Sparky. And this photo was taken on a wardrobe truck on the set of a film that Rhea was working on shortly after she rescued Sparky from the street. I mean, literally. She just opened up that door and that little doggy jumped in. Anyway, friends, I want to thank you for coming by, listening to my story. I got another little doggy right now who's very special. This is Goo, who likes to sit with me and read stories to you. So maybe next time we'll do another fun story, or I'll tell you a little bit about some of the artwork that I do. And I want you to think about the stories that you have up here in your mind. Maybe you have a story that you want to share, and maybe that's something that you can work on at home. Break out the crayons. Think of a story. They come from somewhere. Why not come from you? All right, this is Mr. Dave Aru and Magoo signing out. I'll see you next time.